Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And give this video a like up. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. Beware the witching hour. That's the advice we're giving young and restless Sharon this week, knowing what's about to happen on Halloween night. As if the current predicament she's found herself in isn't enough to deal with. Young and restless spoilers are teasing that Sharon will receive a surprising visitor on the October 31st Halloween episode. And we can't help but think that this could change everything about the trajectory of this story. Sharon's no stranger to dealing with unexpected visitors. There's been a constant stream of the welcome and unwelcome knocking at the door of her home on the Newman Ranch since she moved into the place. Sometimes, as is wont to happen on soaps, they even walk right in without waiting to be invited. In a recent twist, she even made out with a guest who turned out to be nothing more than a hallucination. For the most part, Sharon has remained unfazed about the steady stream of traffic in and out. This week's visitor, however, might give our Sharon a right old scare. Why? Perhaps because this particular caller has already shuffled off this mortal coil. Not that Sharon's any stranger to dealing with otherworldly types of visits either. Her late daughter Cassie has been turning up on the regular since her death decades ago, ready to dole out advice, comfort, and inspiration. The only time Cassie's appearances became bone-rattling was when they weren't an apparition at all, but instead Cassie's twin sister Mariah, who had been unwittingly hired to gaslight her own mother by an unrepentant Victor Newman. The blonde has also taken to hanging out with her former stalker, who she stabbed to death. Indeed, Cameron's undead self has become a fixture in his blood-stained shirt, not only her living room, but in her mind. Everywhere she goes, the disheveled dark angel on her shoulder seems to follow. Cameron, however, insists that he is not himself, but actually Sharon, her dark side. If you will, manifested by her subconscious, so not technically a ghost, but certainly a specter or presence she's gone to battle against. Sharon appeared to be on the verge of beating that devil and confessing her role in Heather's death to Nick, until the mere mention of Phyllis' name snapped her back into psychosis. Yep, she's the one person guaranteed to make Sharon see red. You see what we did there? And this immediately brought back the old demons. With a rather terrifying look in her eye, Sharon decided that Phyllis should join her former daughter-in-law in the hereafter. As Daniel was hauled off to jail while his apoplectic mother protested, Sharon shifted from the woman crying in Nick's arms that she couldn't take it anymore, back into stone-cold killer mode. That brings us to the present, with our surprise visitor set to arrive on the unsuspecting Sharon's doorstep, or perhaps right through the door into her living room, on Halloween night. Yes, we're convinced the caller will be the ghost of someone recently deceased, come to play the role of the anti-Cameron and pressure Sharon to confess, so Daniel can be freed, reunite with his daughter, and grieve. Vale Bloom teased that Sharon hadn't seen the last of Heather, and what better time for a shocking visit from the other side than Halloween night? Of course, a vision of the woman she believes she murdered could prove to be a manifestation of Sharon's guilt, or the visitor might not be the late Heather at all. But we like the idea of a haunting on All Hallows Eve, especially knowing it could change everything with the trajectory of this story. Will Heather's ghost get through to Sharon and make her come clean? You'll have to tune in to the Halloween episode to find out. Let's hope the writers give us pumpkin to talk about. The moon hung low in the sky, casting a silver glow over the quiet town of Maplewood. It was Halloween night, a time when the ordinary transformed into the extraordinary. The air was crisp, carrying the sweet scent of caramel apples and the distant echoes of laughter from children in costumes. This was a night Heather had been eagerly anticipating, for it meant visiting her best friend, Sharon. Sharon lived in a charming old house at the end of Elm Street, its gables reaching towards the sky like crooked fingers. The house had a reputation. Some said it was haunted. Legends swirled around the creaking floorboards, and whispering winds that rustled through the aged trees in the yard. But to Heather, it was just Sharon's home, an enchanting place filled with laughter and secrets. As Heather approached the house, she admired the decorations. Jack-o'-lanterns flickered on the porch, their carved faces glowing with mischief. Cobwebs adorned the windows, and plastic skeletons danced in the moonlight. She couldn't help but smile, feeling the thrill of adventure stir within her. "Hey, Heather!" Sharon greeted her at the door, her face illuminated by the soft light of the porch lantern. She wore a witch's hat tilted at a jaunty angle, and her dark hair cascaded around her shoulders like a waterfall. Ready for a night of spooky fun? Absolutely, Heather replied, her eyes sparkling with excitement. She was dressed as a ghost, a flowing white sheet draped over her shoulders, with holes cut out for eyes. They both burst into laughter, the sound echoing into the night. Once inside, the atmosphere shifted. The living room was filled with shadows, the flickering candlelight casting eerie shapes on the walls. Sharon's parents had gone out for the evening, leaving the house in the girls' hands. It felt like their own little world, alive with the spirit of Halloween. "Let's do something special tonight," Sharon suggested, her eyes gleaming with mischief. "How about a scavenger hunt? We can create clues and hide them around the house." Heather's heart raced at the thought. That sounds amazing. We could make it really spooky. The girls set to work, crafting clues that hinted at ghostly tales and local legends. Each clue led to another, weaving a web of mystery throughout the house. They giggled as they wrote about phantom footsteps and a lost treasure hidden in the attic. As they placed the final clue, the excitement in the air was palpable. "Okay, let's start," Sharon declared, her voice a blend of glee and anticipation. The first clue sent them to the kitchen, where they rummaged through cabinets, searching for the next hint. As Heather opened a particularly creaky cabinet door, a gust of wind blew through the room, rattling the windows. She froze, a chill running down her spine. "Did you feel that?" she whispered, her voice barely above a breath. "Probably just the draft," Sharon said, but her eyes widened. "Or maybe it's a ghost." The two girls exchanged glances, a mix of fear and excitement bubbling within them. They pressed on, eager to solve the mystery. The next clue took them to the basement, a place they usually avoided. With a flashlight in hand, they descended the stairs, the beam flickering against the stone walls. The basement was dark and musty, filled with forgotten memories and dusty boxes. "Let's be quick," Heather urged, her heart racing as shadows danced around them. They found the clue tucked inside an old trunk, which made them squeal in delight. But as they turned to leave, a sudden noise echoed behind them, a soft creaking, as if something were shifting in the dark. "Sharon, did you hear that?" Heather's voice quivered. "Maybe it's just the old house settling," Sharon suggested, but she too felt the tension rise. They hurried back upstairs, adrenaline coursing through their veins. As they raced through the living room, the lights flickered ominously. "This is getting really spooky," Heather exclaimed, laughter mingling with her unease. "Let's just find the treasure and get out of here," Sharon replied, trying to sound brave. The final clue led them to the attic, a place of shadows and secrets. They climbed the narrow staircase, each step creaking beneath their weight. The attic was dimly lit by a single bulb, casting a soft glow on the cluttered space filled with old furniture and forgotten trinkets. "Where could it be?" Heather murmured, scanning the room. Suddenly, they noticed a dusty chest in the corner, half hidden under a faded quilt. "Could that be it?" Sharon whispered, her eyes wide with excitement. They approached the chest slowly, the air thick with anticipation. With a deep breath, Sharon lifted the lid, and a cloud of dust erupted into the air. Inside, they found an assortment of old toys and trinkets. But at the bottom lay something shiny, a small, ornate key. "What do you think it opens?" Heather wondered, holding the key up to the light. Just then, a cold draft swept through the attic, and the door creaked shut behind them. The girls exchanged fearful glances, the excitement of the scavenger hunt now tinged with genuine apprehension. "Maybe we should go back downstairs," Sharon suggested, her voice shaking. But before they could move, the air shimmered around them, and for a brief moment they caught a glimpse of a shadowy figure in the corner of the attic. It was fleeting, but enough to send their hearts racing. "Did you see that?" Heather gasped. "Yeah, we need to leave now," Sharon replied, and they dashed for the door. As they reached the top of the stairs, they could hear laughter, a distant echoing sound that sent chills down their spines. They bolted downstairs, barely pausing to catch their breath. As they reached the safety of the living room, they collapsed onto the couch, hearts pounding. "Okay, that was way more than I bargained for," Heather said, trying to steady her breath. Sharon nodded, her eyes wide with excitement and fear. "But it was also incredible. We should do this every Halloween." Just then, a loud knock echoed from the front door, causing both girls to jump. They exchanged terrified glances, the adrenaline still coursing through their veins. Trick or treat, came a chorus of voices from outside. Relieved laughter bubbled up between them as they rushed to the door, the spirit of Halloween still alive and well. As they opened it, a sea of costumed children greeted them, their bags held wide for candy. "Let's go get some treats," Heather exclaimed, their earlier fears melting away in the joy of the moment. Together, they stepped into the night, the thrill of adventure still lingering in the air, ready for whatever Halloween had in store next.